Welcome to part 2. You will learn the first skill. Practice, you'll learn.
Hello students, in this part of our lesson we are going to learn skill 1 regarding the Pythagorean theorem. Skill 1 is to use the Pythagorean theorem to decide if 3 lengths would create a right triangle or not. This is also called a Pythagorean triplet if it does create a right angle. Our steps to doing this skill are to label the legs A and B and to label the hypotenuse, the longest side, C. Second, test A squared plus B squared to see if it equals C squared. If yes, then it is a right triangle. If no, then it is not a right triangle. So let's test it. Would a triangle with sides of 5, 7, and 10 be a right triangle? We can test this by labeling A, B, and C. Remember, A is your shortest side, B is your medium side, and C is your longest side, also known as your hypotenuse. So if you look at our three numbers, 5 is the shortest, so we'll label it A. 7 is the medium, so we'll label it B. And 10 is the longest, we'll label it C. Now we need to test A squared plus B squared. Does that equal C squared? Well, we know that A is 5, so we have 5 squared, plus we know B is 7. I'll get you scissors in a minute. We know that B is 7, so we have 7 squared, and that's equal to C, which is 10 squared. Now, we know that 5 squared means 5 times 5, or 25. And that 7 squared means 7 times 7, or 49. We also know that 10 squared means 10 times 10, which is 100. If we add these two together, we will see that it will equal 74. If you didn't know that, you could do it on the side. 25 plus 49. 5 plus 9 is 14. 1 and 2 make 3, plus 4 is 7. So that's where we got 74. So 74, is that equal to 100? And the answer is no, they are not equal to each other. So would this create a right triangle? And the answer is no, it would not be a right triangle. Okay, let's do one more example. Would a triangle with sides of 8, 15, and 10 have a right angle? Why or why not? In other words, does A squared plus B squared equal C squared? So let's first label A, our shortest side. Well, you notice our shortest side is 8. Now, let's label our medium side B. Our medium side is 10. And our longest side is 15. Notice they do not always have to be listed in order. You have to be able to decipher which one is the shortest, which one is the longest. So now we need to test A squared plus B squared is C squared. Let's substitute our values. We know A is 8, so we have 8 squared, plus we know B is 10, so we have 10 squared, and we want to know, does that equal C squared? Does that equal 15 squared? Well, 8 squared is 64, 10 squared is 100, and we know that 15 squared is 225. And if you didn't know that, you could do it on the side of your paper. 64 plus 100 is 164. Does that equal 225? And the answer is no. So that means this is not a right triangle because a squared plus b squared does not equal c squared.